tutorial is how to make a pot holder using one of the weaving loom kits that you can pick up at any craft store. The one that I'm using today I picked up at Walmart. Your kits will come with nylon loops. As you can see, I've already used most of the orange and white ones to make this one. So you can pick your color palette. You can do it random. You can do like I did and pick specific colors. For this tutorial, I'm just going to randomly pick them. Okay, so I'm just going to untie it, and then I've got a bunch of purples here. If yours come bundled together, usually it's just one loop wrapped around them, just to keep them together. So just find that one loop, and they may not, they may just be all tossed into a bag, but if yours are, just find that one and then just give it a tug. To get started, you're going to take your loop, you're going to give it a stretch, and you're just going to hook it over the first one on this side to the first one on the opposite side. These little teeth. And then you're going to do that all the way across, making sure that you're going to the same one on either side. So the 4th to the 4th, 5th to 5th, 10th to the 10th, so on and so forth. And you'll do that all the way across. Okay, now some of them, like this one, may be a little short and may not want to stretch all the way across. You can either keep pulling on it and force it over, or you have plenty. So what I do is I usually just toss that one aside and grab another one. Once you get to this point, I turn mine. Now it'll come with this little tool here. Some people use it, some don't. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It is helpful. Alright, so now I'm going to grab my next one. And like with this one that was a little short, I go ahead and I test mine first to make sure it's going to be long enough. And then you're going to take your tool, go under the first one, or on top of the first one, under the second. And then you're just going to weave this tool all the way across. Now if you prefer to use your fingers, I'll show you how to do that way next. It's just a personal preference, whichever way you prefer to do it. But you'll continue all the way across, going under and over. I usually go underneath, come up here. I go on top of both sections of the loop, and then under both, over, under, all the way across. Okay, now you're going to hook the loop onto that hook, and then all you do now is you slide your loop over the first prong here. And then you're going to pull, your other end is sticking out over here, and then you're just going to pull that loop through, and that's going to weave it underneath each of those loops. And then you take your hook, and then you hook your loop over that side, and then you can pull your loop out, or pull your hook out. Okay, now you've got the first one done. Now for the second one, you're going to do it opposite. So we went over this first one. So this time we're going to go under, and then over the green, under the yellow, over the purple. And you'll just, like I said, just do it opposite all the way across. If you went over on the first one, you'll go under this time. Go a little closer so you can see. You see? See how this one was over before, and now we're going to go under. And don't worry that my hook is way over here, because it'll end up over here. Okay, so we're going to grab another. Plenty long. Hook that over. Hook it over where I want it to be, and then just pull it through. Now I am holding mine up, but that is just so that I can get it in better view of the camera. You can leave yours sitting down here on the table. Okay, now you'll see you have a gap here. Take your hook tool here and just scooch it over. And you're on your way. And then you just keep repeating that process all the way across until you get all the way to here. So again, we'll do one more using the hook, and then I'll show you how you can do the difference with your fingers. Okay, so the last time we went under, so this time we're going to go over on the red. So over or pink, over, under. You just go over, under, all the way across. Again, doing opposite of the one right before it. Now, did y'all see what happened? I lost it over here. No worries, just weave your hook back through here. And then just pick it back up. And then go ahead and finish pulling it through. And take your tool, snug it up to the one before it. And you're ready to move on to the next one. Okay, so for this one I'm going to show you how to do it with your fingers. And you do it exactly what you think you would do. You just use your fingers instead of the tool. And you just weave it under and over. When I was a little kid, this was way easier for me than with the hook. The hook was kind of difficult for me as a little kid with my little hands, so I would just do it this way. Ta-da! to do another one with my hands, and I'm going to try to watch the camera to make sure that my hands aren't in the way so that you can see what I was doing. So you're going to go under and go over that one, under this one. Be careful to push down on these, because if you try to pull them up, you may pop it off over here. So when you go through, if you're going to use your hands, just push down to go under instead of pulling this up. When you're on this side, these tend to not pop off, but the further you get here, the more tension you'll have on this side, and they'll start popping off, and you'll just need to just pop them back on. See, and now it's starting to take shape. You're starting to get your weaving pattern. Continue again, like I said, you just continue this all the way across, and when you get here, I'll show you how to take to pop off while you were doing that, you would just take your hook or your fingers and just weave it back across the same way, and then just hook it back. Okay, now you're ready to take it off of the loom. Okay, you're going to want to take it off one loop at a time. Now this is where it gets a little tricky, but just be patient with yourself and you'll get it. Okay, so you're going to take the first loop off, holding on to it tightly, and go ahead and grab the second loop. Well, maybe. There we go. Okay, now you're going to take your second loop, and you're going to take your first loop and go over it. So now your first loop is over the second one. And you're going to take the next loop off. Take the first loop or the last loop and go over it, or take this one and go inside, however you want to. Okay. Take your next one. So take the one in your right hand and go through the one on your left hand. And what you're doing is your loops are going over this way. Now if you're left-handed, you can go and start in this corner and work this way. You'll just continue this all the way across, taking the loop on the right, go into the loop on the left, going one loop at a time, or take the loop on the left and go over the loop on the right, however you need to say it to yourself to where you can. Trying to keep it to where y'all can see what I'm doing here. going to try it with the hook because it does give instructions for that as well. So let's see how it does with the hook. Hook it off. Take the loop in your left hand and go over. Then grab up the loop on the pink loop. Okay, so let's try that again. Grab the orange or the loop on the right. Take the pink, which is your loop on the left. Go over. Grab the orange and pull out your hook. So if you want to use your hook, grab the hook with the loop on the right, take the loop on the left, go over, making sure to go over the loop that's on the hook, grab a hold of it, and then pull your hook out. So whichever way works easier for you. I honestly don't think I've ever tried it with the hook because their instructions and that come with the kits are very, they're hard to understand. They're very basic, or at least this particular kit. Okay, and now we're to a corner and you're going to turn and you're just going to keep going. Doing the same thing. You're going to take this here, take the one on the left, go over the one on the right, and you just keep working it all the way around. Now as you see, it's going to start pulling in, and that's because these are disconnected, and that's fine because now there's nothing stretching them, and that's what you want it to do. So once you get over here, these are going to be really loose, so just take your time because they're going to want to come undone. And I'll show you a little trick to help with that. Actually, I'll show it to you right here. We're going to take this white one. We're going to go through the blue. Okay, now instead of letting go of this blue, I'm just going to hook it back up on this corner. You don't have to do that, but that's just going to leave a little bit of tension that'll help keep this side from popping off when you get around there. And then we'll do the same thing when we get to this corner. Okay, and now you're ready to just keep on going. Take your orange through the white, right under left, or right through the left, I should say. Right, go through the one on the left. My hands are in the way. I know that's hard to see. I apologize. Try it this way. I think you can see my hand is not in the way as much when I'm doing it this way. Or maybe it is. It's just quicker for me to use my hand method just because that's the way I've always done it. Alright, I'm going to take this orange one and I'm going to go ahead and loop it back up over here. Turn. Remember, the one on the left goes into the one on the right. The one on the right goes into the one on the left. Oh gosh, I hope I haven't been saying that wrong the whole time. Right through the left. Okay, now you're ready to make your last turn. Okay, one on the right goes through the one on the left. Pull it up. Now I'm going to take this purple one and I'm just going to hook it back where I just took that pink one off. Again, that's just to help keep this side from popping off. And now for your last one. Okay, now you can go ahead and remove all these others that are hanging because they're already woven in. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about the big tails. Those will go away here in just a minute. Okay, so now you're going to give that a little tug and then just tie this in a knot here if you want to. That's just so you continue to have that loop. Just pull it. You can pull that purple one to get it back where it needs to be, and the same for the orange. See, that blue one's already gone back. There you go. Now you've just made a pot holder. You can set a pan on it. Be careful because they are thin. You can make several of them and then sew them together if you want to. But that's it. Okay, I want to show you a quick alternate based on one of the designs I saw on the box. Okay, all I've done is just gone ahead and stretched these across just to make sure they're all going to fit. Pop these off here. Okay. Okay, one of the pictures on the box shows instead of going underneath, under and over both, it shows going under one of each. And I thought, you know, this might be a good way to try for when you're weaving it off. Because if one of these sides pops off, since you're going under and over, it's going to stop it right here. And it won't have it unweave all the way across. So I thought I'd give one a try and just see how it looks. And see if it's any different as far as if it makes it any easier or harder when you're weaving it across, if it pops off any different. Get off of there. Sometimes they get a little twisted. Just untwist them. Y'all hear my tinykins. He's mad because I'm in here recording and he's out there in the hallway. But if I let him in here, he likes to help by stopping the recording or jumping up in front of what I'm doing. Okay, yeah. Alright, I'm going to continue this all the way across. Okay, so this is what it looks like after I finished all the way across, doing it the different way, where you go in one in each side of the loops. I'm going to go ahead and apologize now if Tiny sticks his paw or meows or shuts off the video, quit, or moves the camera. His noisiness was getting on my nerves, so I let him in. Alright. Okay, so when I was doing this before, and I watched my video, I wanted to try a different way to take it off, just to see if it was easier. You're still going to go one at a time. But what I was thinking is, take the one loop, and then reach through that loop, and pull the other one up through it. Then do the same thing for the next one. Just reach through the loop. Maybe not. The problem is, let me see, can y'all see these little, it's got these little tiny, quit buddy, quit closing the camera screen so I can see it. It's got these little teeth, or these little grippy things on the outside, so my loops are sticking to it, making it, which I mean it's good. It makes it easier. They're supposed to be there. It keeps these from popping off as easy, but it also makes it a little harder to get them off. But anyway, like I said, as I was watching, I was thinking, that might be easier. Let's try it with the loop, with the hook. I'll go up and over, and take the hook. Oh, this might. Man, those little grippies just don't like this version. It does make this a little tighter. I will tell you, by doing it this way, by going in one, this is much tighter. So it is making it a little harder to get it off, at least on this first side. Now this might work better with a hook. So you got the one, then just reach over, grab the other one off of that with the hook, and pull it up and through. Oh yeah. Can y'all still see it? Okay. I don't know if y'all hear it thundering outside. It's been raining here today. Oh, I gotta grab that purple one. I just about dropped it. We had a slight chance of storms today, hit or miss, and it has been a hit here all day. Off and on all day. Mostly on. Gotta keep a watch on it though, because I let Max, he's one of the dogs, he's in the backyard. So I will need to pay attention, because if it starts pouring down rain, I need to go let him in. Otherwise he'll be a wet, soppy, muddy mess. Well, I don't know that this way was any easier. It looked like it would be super easy when I was watching it in the video. I thought, oh, I could just... Oh, I may try that though for this next one. Now hook that over. Grab this green yellow color here. I'm going to leave that blue one there. For the same reason as before, just to keep it from popping off over here. Now the thing with this side is now, if this side pops off, I'm just going to show you. Because this is the side that went, where we went in and out of one side. So if you go like that, it's not going to unweave all the way across. So that's a good thing. That, you know, be back in there. You're still getting that same edging with this one as before. So it still gives you that braided look. I think this way is definitely faster with the hook by pulling it up and under. It's a good thing that camera is facing down, because if it was facing up, y'all would be getting a screen full of Tiny Face right now, because he is watching the video from the top. I'll have to sneak a picture of him here and I'll pop it in so y'all can see what he's doing. Okay. Just one turn. Grab the blue. Put that one back over there. Tiny, it's thundering. Thunder, thunder, thunder. Tiny, my battery's getting low. Hopefully it doesn't die on us before we get this done. This side is much faster than the other side. All that tension's gone off of it, makes it easier. Get off of there. Y'all notice I didn't hook it back on this side this time. It wasn't necessary. Okay, now you can go ahead and pop these two off on the bottom. Give a tug. Now the instructions don't say you have to tie a knot in this. I always do. I really don't know why. I guess just to try to keep, just so maybe that piece doesn't come off of it as easy if it's got a knot in it. You know, it's one of those things that when I was a kid, that's just how we finished it off, was we tied a knot in it. So and then now you can hang it if you've got a little hook and you want to hang it. Now the box does say these are for decorative use only. When I was a kid, and I still have some in my drawer, I use them. Just be careful. I use them. I set a pan on them. I've never had any problems with them. Now sometimes if you get it too hot, this nylon will melt. But like with any other pot holder, you know, you don't want to lay it directly on a hot eye because it will catch on fire. But if you're just reaching in to grab something and you fold it over, I've never had any problems with it. But if you want to just make them to use for decorations, you can do that as well. Yeah, so that's the other pattern that it creates if you do it one instead of both. So there you go. Another way to take it off. Make another pattern. hope y'all have enjoyed this tutorial. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, happy crafting!